So I've been using Motorola devices for a while now, keep switching between of course different devices, but Motorola is one of those. I've used the Motorola G200 lately and of course the Motorola G51. But today we have a conversation about the Motorola, which is a bit dirty at the moment because of fingerprint magnet, but the Motorola G71. A bit of a more compact design, but also a phone that offers quite a lot in terms of software experience and of course battery life. But is it any good beside that? Let's discuss in this full review of the Motorola G71. So let's quickly run over the specifications of the Motorola G71. When it comes to the Motorola G71, we get a 6.4-inch AMOLED display. The CPU inside is a 695 and it's of course a 5G Snapdragon chip. When it comes to memory, you either have 128GB with 4GB of RAM up to 8GB of RAM. The main camera is a 15-megapixel sensor with a 1.8 aperture and a 1/276 inch sensor size. The ultra-wide is sadly an 8-megapixel sensor with a 2.2 aperture and a 118 degrees field of view with a 1/4 inch sensor size. And then the third camera is sadly a 2-megapixel sensor. Let's not discuss that one any further. Then we get to the front-facing camera. It's a 16-megapixel sensor with a 2.2 aperture and the battery is a 5000 mAh battery with of course 30-watt charging. In terms of features, of course we don't have sadly any micro SD support, but we do have our 3.5mm headphone jack. So let's quickly look at some images that I've taken with the Motorola G71. Let's straight away get to the point where I feel like Motorola does a really good job. Software experience. With the Motorola G71, this is not different. Motorola does a good job with software. There are some things like not having apps pre-installed like a lot of other brands do, and of course having handy features like for instance shaking your phone to turn on the flash itself. I know this sounds weird, but it actually makes a lot of sense. So simply shake your phone and the flash goes on. Simply shake it again, the flash goes off. Want to start the camera? Simply switch it and the camera goes on. Do it again, it goes to the front camera. Simple integrations of software experience that makes the use of a Motorola device actually quite handy. The flash, for instance, is something that works consistently, but also is something that I enjoy using on my phone. A lot of times I'm like, I wish I had that feature on my other devices. Simply because at night I of course turn off all the lights and then I want to walk upstairs. Well, having a flash with me just makes it a little bit brighter and I can actually see what I'm walking through because my space isn't very big. So that flash is really handy. So well done with that. And again, in terms of software, it is excellent. There are some things as stated always with Motorola, like closing all the apps that still don't work as it should. The Motorola's experience in terms of that is a little bit less. So if you have older apps, you need to actually swipe way to the side to then close all or manually close every single one of them. Have 12 tab open, but then you have to swipe a lot of times. So not a fun experience when it comes to that. But apart from that, they are improving some parts. Like screenshots didn't work that well. You actually had to tap properly on the screen itself to then move further, and it wasn't the fastest experience at all when it comes to screenshots. This has now been improved, so I definitely can tell the difference compared to some other Motorola devices that I've used. Then another thing, dual speakers. For some reason Motorola doesn't want to do that. They're like, nah, don't feel like it. I don't feel like we should add that on the phone. Yeah, definitely Motorola, come on, get those dual speakers on those phones. It makes a lot of difference in terms of audio experience, even if that second speaker isn't very good. It just allows the music to face you. This makes a lot of difference in terms of audio experience with a device like this. Definitely feel like they should improve upon that. When it comes to that speaker on top, I will have to say that the calling experience has been excellent. I really have no issues here. Again, with Motorola, it's just some small things where I think they need to work on. But as stated, there's more to Motorola. Another strength is definitely battery life. Battery life on Motorola devices have been excellent for me. It's not the best, still the Xiaomi 12X has been the best experience in terms of battery life, but when it comes to the Motorola G71, again, great battery life experience. I can easily make it till the end of the day with 8 hours of screen on time, sometimes 9 depending on how I use it, but definitely when it comes to battery life experience has been excellent on the Motorola G71. Not a surprise here. And overall, again, in terms of features, of course you get the headphone jack and you get the charger included as well. The Motorola G71 has a lot of strengths, but I don't think it's the most compelling package. If you want the fastest phone or the best camera on the phone, definitely the Motorola G71 and other Motorolas aren't it. They don't offer the max that you can get out of a phone for the price itself. But don't think with me saying that it isn't the best camera or the best CPU inside this phone that it's slow by any means. The software support actually makes it quite rapid in terms of day-to-day use, and when it comes to the camera, I think actually the main camera is quite solid for the price itself. The ultra wide, however, is a little bit less, but honestly not too bad either. It's just color calibration between the two sensors isn't great, and of course an 8 megapixel resolution makes it also a little bit softer. This softer look basically hides a little bit of the imperfections. Either way, camera and CPU might not be the fastest, but it isn't bad by any means. It offers other things where I feel like it does it better than some phones that have the best CPU or the best camera for the price itself. When it comes to the prices like this, Motorola's strength is definitely battery life and software experience. This is where they excel. Other phones excel at having that better camera and of course better CPU inside, but they don't compete on the level when it comes to software experience, handy software features like shaking and having the flash go on or the camera itself, and of course like having that great battery life. Either way, the Motorola G71 is a great device. It just depends on who you are and what you request from your phone. Let me know what you think about the Motorola G71 and this short review of it. Let me know what you think about the pictures that I've taken with it. Of course, let me know what you think in general about Motorola. And yeah, I kind of want to get that folding phone of them. Yeah, the clamshell phone. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, like and all that stuff, and talk to you guys in the next video.